The next question is for TJ and Director Tingle. The first question is, as a council member, would you work to retain the primary principles that are existing in the master plan currently, or would you use it as a guide, or would you scrap it altogether? The second question is, how do you see the new general plan improve upon the existing master plan within a few years?
All right, so we have an existing city. It's doing really well. There are certain flaws I'm seeing at the moment as an outsider, I'm thinking, why is the school right in the middle? There's congestion. How come they didn't think about putting the school on the outskirts? Okay, things have been done. What do we do from here now, right? Changing a master plan, it's going to take so much work, so much money. Do we have the money? I'm not sure. We'll find out. If I get picked, I'll let you guys know. But we need to learn how to work with what we have at the moment and make it better. If there is a zoning change, guess what? The 19th power is that, okay? But it has to come from the people. What do they want, right? So if folks say, okay, they don't want that kind of business, it's not going to come. If they want, this is how I see businesses. Who are we catering here? Young little kids? Somebody who is middle age? Elderly folks? There's 3 different kind of folks, So do we have businesses over here which satisfy the needs of all of these folks? No, we don't. But what's the best thing to bring? We can brainstorm. That's why we're having this meeting. You guys need to choose the right kind of people over here, folks who have the experience, who is an entrepreneur, okay? I can make decisions. I'm sure there are other folks over here that can do that too. But this is where, we're gonna meet the road. So my thing is what we have, we're gonna work with it. And if there's a need to change, we'll change it. Over.
My short answer to the question is that I wouldn't want to scrap the master plan. I would want to use it as a guide. The reason why I'm using it as a guide is that for the last 21 years, that's been our guiding principle of how we're moving forward. So it can't be all bad. However, enough has happened over the years, people moving in, just the change of the way we do business and the economy, that it may need some tweaking. I don't say scrap it. I said tighten it up, and a 3-year plan is good to go on, because it'll take that time not only for a new council, which I hope you make me part of, becomes more cohesive, working together, but most importantly, it gives us time to, as our town or city is growing, to get the input from everybody as to what we really want and how we're doing business differently. The schools, as we grow, it's getting more information. It's obvious now that if we have more people moving into the town and people bring kids with them, our schools are going to grow. And we have to factor all that in, because schools take money, and I'm a proponent of schools. Love kids, love working with schools. Our school is doing a wonderful job, but that all still affects our tax base. So I say don't throw it away, tweak it, build upon it, and use that time for the council to work cohesively and strategically plan step by step what's done with input from you. Thank you.
Just a quick comment. It's not going to hurt us to plagiarize. There's cities out there who've done the right thing. Mm-hmm. This is not an exam here, right? We can absolutely plagiarize. We can look at cities who've done it right for them, and just follow them. Over.
Copying is the best form of
Flattery.
Mr. Mayor, you have
Yes, just a quick comment. While
1 minute.
yes,
Now comments are just 1 minute.
okay, just a quick comment. While we say yes, that we will keep the master plan as the guideline and see that what we want to continue with general plan, what it boils down to at the end of the day is that it is the voice of people. So we will always have to emphasize on that we are here, we will be serving on this council, but the voice of people is the first step that we would want to hear. That is what it will boil down to eventually. Yeah. I want to emphasize on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rana?
You know, I think so far we've had a really good example of having to pivot, because after, let's go with the crash in 2008, so many things changed. We have been pivoting with the master plan. We've stayed with it, but there has already been some things that have had to change already with that. So to ask the question, would you change it or keep it? We've already been evolving with the master plan. We've had to change things. The CSD has made different provisions for certain things. For example, the golf course that we were going to have, that had to be scrapped. It's not anybody's fault, but you know, it reminds me of, I'm going to stop because I'm going to respect your 10 fingers. That's okay.
Thank you, Rana. Mr. Disco, 1 minute.
President Isco.
Oh, please,
President Disco.
do not.
I learned from the best over here. Thank you, Ms. Bernice.
You're your candidate.
Sorry. So I've always come from a metropolitan area. I've never seen such a structure as the master development because I've never lived inside of a new development. I've seen Irvine evolve around me growing up as a kid. I am in favor of maintaining some of that, but considering the demographic of Mountain House, just in the past 5 years alone, 50% by my presumptive data of Salah, how many exchanges of house sales have happened in 5 years? Was it 5,000? So out of 5,000 change of ownership or new ownership to, you assume, another 5,000 of renters, I think people deserve to have chickens in their backyard if they're properly cooped. And whether you can vote or not, I feel like that sentiment is shared in Mountain House. Thank you.
I get myself a goat.
The next question is for Wahid and Sadia. So, based on questions that has come to us, the community would like to know how you feel as the new city council is coming on how you can hold developers accountable to build the infrastructures and community facilities that the city needs in a timely manner. And we can start with Sadia.
So that's a good question. How do we hold them accountable? I think we get the community involved and we get everyone's input and figure out what's the right way of taking care of things that are coming in the future and what is the timeline that's required by the community. So it's for the people, from the people. That's all I have.
I share the opinion. Absolutely, it's pro-residents. What we have to do is with developer management, basically managing these developers. So we, as a city council, will have to make them accountable based on the timelines that we want the progression. It may be delay, but as long as we are able to see the incremental progress, that's what we have to hold them accountable for, and that's what we should do.
TJ,
I have
1
a minute.
minute. Yes.
Okay, cool. So there was a meeting 3 weeks ago, and the meeting was set by the new developers. And the meeting was, what kind of houses do we need to have in Mountain House, the next upcoming 4 villages? And since I'm an advocate for healthcare and, for a senior citizen community center, I said, do we have anything like that coming? And the builder said, yes, we have a couple of opportunities. So guess what? I am going to hold them accountable for saying what they said in that meeting. I can't make anybody do anything, but at least I can raise my rightful voice. And I'll say, hey, we have elderly folks in the Indian households. My mom and dad, they come from India and they stay over here. They need health care. They need to go to a place and hang out and not, sit and watch me all the time, right? So, this advocacy is a very important, and I'll make sure if you guys pick me, it's going to happen. Over and out.
Thank you. Miss-
Thank you. My answer is simple, just 2 words. You keep developers in tow by establishing firm expectations with timelines. That's the only way you get anything done. Tell people what you expect and find out them when they're going to deliver. Hold their feet to the fire. I know that was more than 2
Roger
words.
that.
Thank you.
Bryan, can I just say something real quick? Yeah, I agree with Bernice on that. We got to hold them accountable. We've been tested before when some of us been on the board prior, but you got to hold them accountable. And when they say they're going to build roads first, or you got to hold them to it. And the best way is having that timeline, and don't let them extend that.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. So the next question is for Dan Harrison and Ronna Green. How do you envision that the new city council can act when it comes to economic development once out from under the control of the county and the limitations of the CSD's 18 powers? Do you have some specific ideas in mind, like maybe organizing a task force to seek out ways to bring businesses who might provide jobs to residents here in town, something else? And how do you envision that process playing out? Dan, we'll start with you.
One of the things that I've done is I've met folks from the county, and to have that type of support, where it's your county commissioner, your treasurer office, when we need to get economic and bring businesses in, getting their support on it, making sure that we utilize what we have, like I said, with getting grants and stuff to help bring in things, so that way we could use our revenue for different areas that it should be. That's pretty much that's kind of it. What I got on that. Sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Green?
Can you rephrase the question again?
It was kind of long and rambling, huh? That's because I took it from several questions that were asked to us and kind of pieced it all together. Basically, what we're saying is, as we become a city, Mountain House is not going to be under the control of the county to make our determination. We're not going to be at the mercy of developers to bring business here. And we're not going to be limited by the 18 powers of the CSD as it's been. You'll be able to actively go out and seek businesses to come to Mountain House. Right now, they can't do that. It's not lawful to do that. So in order to develop a stronger economic base, we're just asking how you see that happening.
I think it's very, very important what type of economic development or businesses that we're seeking to bring into Mountain House, because every business that you bring in might not be profitable and bring in revenue for our community. So we want to bring in businesses that we're going to benefit from, because I keep hearing, different things, and we can get this and we can get that, like we can get grants, but we can apply for anything we want to apply for. It's not guaranteed that we're going to get that money. So we need to make sure that we bring in the type of businesses, unlike the warehouses, that will benefit and bring in money into Mountain House. For example, Not to say we don't need Safeway. Of course, we need a grocery store. We need to eat. However, food is not taxable. So the amount of revenue that comes in from food is not as high as the amount of revenue that comes in from the gas station, correct? So I wouldn't want to bring in another grocery store because food is not taxable. So what business could we bring in that will help us with our economy, that will help our kids with their education? I mean, a lot of things don't come to the Central Valley because there's nothing really here for them. We have no place to have any type of conferences. This is really an extension of Silicon Valley and the tech industry, and right now that's where the money is. So I don't know. Right now, I can't say we're going to do this, thus, and so, but I think that it's very important to do the research, to crunch the numbers, and to figure out the businesses that will be just beneficial. And plus, it's important to see where are we going to put those businesses.
Thank you so much. I think TJ was first, then we'll go Bernice and Wahid. 1 minute each.
It's a loaded question.
Yes.
Do we really need businesses here right now? No, we don't. We have enough revenue, to pay the money we need to pay to get going. But yes, eventually we have to make the right decisions for the businesses, right? So what kind of businesses? Can we plagiarize? Oh yeah, we can look at different cities, what kind of businesses they had, right? We can ask the people what exactly they're looking for and then come up with a short list of things and see if we can recruit those kind of businesses in town. That's my sense of, because I don't think I'm educated enough to go out there and start looking for things. I can certainly look at some cities, do some research, find out, oh, this worked over here, that worked over there, this catered to my kids, this catered to myself, this will cater to my mom and dad. So those kind of things have to come from the people for sure. We could definitely look at and get it going. Also, one more thing, businesses should not be destroying our streets. Those are expensive to fix. So we need to be cognizant about the costs we have to pay to repair the streets, to maintain them and stuff like that. If you don't know what I'm saying, look at the budget. I spend hours looking at it.
Thank you.
Over.
Okay. Answer short, it somewhat co-signs what Mr. TJ said. The first thing is that we need to determine what it is that people want and what you would support. Businesses don't come in organizations where they think they can't make money. That's why it took so many years for Safeway to make it here, because it has to be profitable for them. Find out what it is that you want, and then be in a position to start incentivizing people to come, businesses to come, to get it started. Because that is the way that people would start wanting to come out here, where we can increase jobs. And I do co-sign in, if there's a lot of trucks and what have you, we might want to not look at them so heavy because it is roads. But the point is the 2 points: incentivize, find out what you want, and incentivize businesses to come in and be with us.
Thank you. Wahid?
So while I am proponent of Major D, so we can get incorporated, but at the same time I want to be cautiously optimistic with what, for example, TJ mentioned, that we don't need businesses. But what our figures tell us that the OPEX cost is 85% of our revenue. So we are left with very thin margin of 15% that we cannot afford to continue to live with that unless we find some creative ways of generating revenues. So we will have to be conscious about that. Like, for example, the transient occupancy tax with hotels. So this is something that we could be creatively thinking about it. One option, and we can have multiple creative options we can think about how we can maybe have what's called outlet malls into this also opened up. And then, more important, what I want to be talking about is be proactive, given the scenarios we have seen. For example, city of Vallejo getting bankrupt. So these are the case studies that we should. This triggers our proactive mindset to see that how we can avoid such situations. We have to work on that. Yes.
Thank you. The other part of the equation that I left out the second time I said it is jobs. The original promise of Mountain House was live, work, and play, which later was looked at as kind of a marketing ploy. But maybe there's an opportunity for jobs. TJ, you want to say something?
Doctor already had his minute.
But I'm making a valid point right now. So not
We'll
even
let
we
it-
get the businesses,
Thank
we
you.
need to support them. You know, Safeway is not doing that well. Did you guys know that? People would rather go to Walmart and buy stuff. What's going to happen? The prices are going to go up. Stuff is going to sit on the shelves. It's going to expire. You're feeding your kids expired stuff, right? So we got to be cognizant about these things. If you do not support the businesses we are bringing over here, that's not a good scenario as well, too. Over.
Thank you. Good point. Let's move on. Unless I'm missing anybody.